Hi, everyone. Hopefully, you are having a happy Friday, or at least you're excited because the weekend's upon you. And if you have to work during the weekends, I am so sorry. Hopefully, your weekend will be coming up soon, whenever that may be. Weekend in quotes for those people. Anyway, I have quite a few books to flip through today. I'm sure that comes as no surprise to any of you. It should also probably come as no surprise to any of you that I have more books coming. I have a box from Dover and I have a box from Book Outlet. Hopefully, they both will be here next week, I'm hoping. And yeah, so these are the ones that I've gotten from Amazon, probably starting around Black Friday last week, I'm sure. I don't even remember. We're going to kick right off into these, so y'all don't have to listen to me yapping for 5 minutes straight. Well, maybe we are. Here, let's just do it this way. Hopefully this won't cause an issue. Maybe not the color quest. Actually, let's just start with the color quest one, shall we? That would make more sense. So I did a speed color this month. Now, first off, though, I have to say really quickly, hello, because I've had some friends of mine that are local, and well, I consider them all friends. So I have some local friends that I finally owned up to and told about the channel, and I think at least one of them has already stopped by, and I'm sure there'll be others. So hi. Hello, Josh. Hello to my second family at Scottsville Animal Hospital. All of you, whoever it may be visiting, welcome. Hopefully this isn't too crazy for all of you, but yes, I have held back. Well, I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, hi to all of them if they're watching. I have plenty of things to talk about regarding both my health and my appointment at my with my local doctor, nurse practitioner, and my vet visit today. I had to take Quixote and Winry in, fortunately, for shots. Their yearly vaccinations. They were both healthy, thank goodness. Anyway, talk more about that later. So the speed coloring I did this month was out of the Color Quest book by Joanna Webster. I think that's right. It's up on top of my desk. I can't get to it. But I think it's Joanna Webster. I did a speed color out of that this month, and so you can go look through for that. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I'd already colored one picture in there. My hope is to do at least one a month, recording them if I am able. Anyway, I already can tell I'm going to love that book. So I went ahead and got the animals version. So this is actually by John Woodcock. And it is also a very large book, as you could tell. Let's get an average size book. It is a little shorter than this turned this way. Yeah, that's probably the best way to look at it. And let's see, it is not quite the height of two regular size coloring books stacked on top of each other, but it's pretty darn close. I'd say about 75% there. So, very large book. I will flip through some of these, but the thing is, it's kind of hard to do so because they're just a bunch of color by numbers. It says here, reveal the 30 incredible animals in this book by following the color codes. It gives you some instructions. It says, don't worry if you don't have pens or pencils that exactly match the color key. Darker colors can be achieved by applying more pressure with a pencil. Lighter hues gently. Pen, by layering the ink, you can make darker images. You can also create new unique colors or use whatever colors you want to use. This is the first edition, and it is published by Barron's Educational Series. So this is like color by number on like crack. I don't know. But I mean, this is to a whole extreme level, as you can see. It's probably hard to see the numbers. And what's interesting about these is that they seem to be a lighter gray. So Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit closer. That was the metal arm to my camera. You were probably hearing. Yeah, you still can't really see them. But as you can see, they're all numbers. And what's cool is you have your color legend right here. And they're not all the same kind of setup. So you have that. You have this more in like a pixel art format, which my husband loves. So this may actually be one he'd like to use. And the colors change with each one in terms of numbers. So they're not always the same. You have these, which I believe was the setup for the speed color I did this month. And there's another. So these are all animals. They do have small images at the back of the book where you can go and see if you absolutely must know or you're nervous and need some reassurance. I don't like to do that. For me, I want to be able to see the image and try to figure it out as I'm working on it. These are very large endeavor projects. I think the speed color on the one I did this month was, I'm not going to show you the rest because it's pretty much all the same stuff, right? And you can tell when they're in landscape format because the numbers are turned the other way here. So not that you can probably really see it, but they are. Anyway, I am a slow colorist anyway. The speed color I did this month over time took about 4.5 hours, maybe. At least 4 hours. I can't remember how much longer than that. Okay. So now we got cat spirits. Thanks to Anne at A Colorful Life, who was just showing this in her completed pages for November video. I saw this when she did a flip through of it and I fell in love with it. I do not own any other books by Cristina McAllister, but this was really curious. I was really curious about this one because, I mean, well, first off, again, you slap cats and put cat on the front of a coloring book and you have my interest. But what's doubly interesting about this one is that it is all grayscale, which you can see here from the title page. And I wouldn't say it's a beginner grayscale, just kind of looking at how light it is. I don't know if I call it beginner, but I also don't think I call it advanced. I think at this point, anyone could do these and do them well. So here they have a really good intro about cats, and they are undeniably fascinating. Well, I can wholeheartedly agree with that statement. They are also undeniably jerks. So I wish they had put that in there too. But that's okay. It's a love-hate kind of thing. Coloring tips for these. You don't have to necessarily go with the natural coloration. I suspect I won't in some cases. I like the tips. Grayscale test sheet at the back of the book where you can test your colors. Ooh, see, that's nice. I have not seen that very often. So that is really cool. Now, each back side of the page has a little image like this on it. They are all one-sided. And that's good because, as the tips noted, markers work really well for this, but they can bleed through, especially alcohol markers. This is a little bit thinner paper. It's not a super toothy paper. I believe, hang on, and I can verify this. Yeah, I think this might be Create Space, but that's okay. Because we've learned how to work in Create Space with markers, haven't we? Speaking of Anne, in her completed pages, she shows this one, which she's working her way through the book, and the two she did before, these two were fantastic, but I absolutely love this one. You'll have to go over there and see what she did with those, but they're really incredible. So, and with any other grayscale, but I think in particular this one, like their eyes look a little freaky here. It looks washed out, but I assure you, when you actually apply color to these with the grayscale in there, it's going to look amazing. Grayscale is wonderful for people just starting out coloring. If you just want to color, you want some effects, some highlights, and some shadows, but you're not really ready for blending, or you don't. I love this one with the little hat. That is a smug monkey right there. That's what I call mine when they get that look on their face. They get all squinty-eyed. That cat looks like it's up to no good. Oh, goodness. That cat is about, or cat maid, maybe? Cade? I don't know. Cat mermaid is, I'm trying to squish it together. He's apparently about to snack on these. Really unique images. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. And they're just really cool. But no, if you're just starting out and you want some shading, and not all of them are grayscale, just some of them are. But that's okay because you can still, I mean, you can use pencils on this. You can use marker. Oh my gosh, this one with this kind of mosaic type pattern, stained glass. If you want shadows and highlights, but you're not ready to do that yourself, the grayscale is a great way to go because you basically straight color. If you want, you can straight color them, and the shadows will pop and the highlights will pop, and you will get the shadows and highlights that you want with straight coloring. You can also, if you want deeper shadows and brighter highlights, you can add your own as well over the top. And it would help if I brought the book down, wouldn't it? This is what I get for not looking at the camera. But that's okay. You guys are getting the idea. This one, oh my gosh, I got plans for this one. This reminds me of Annie. And if I can pull off what I'm thinking in my head because she's a tabby, that would be really cool if I could do that. Probably should have backed the camera up here a little. I love these. Those two would be gorgeous side by side and like framed on a wall. There we go. That's much better. I'm so excited about the book. I wasn't paying any attention. And this was the cover. Maybe a little faster. We all know I get behind. So here's a grayscale testing sheet. And this right here is worth its weight in gold, especially if you were just starting out, because I don't know if I've ever seen that before where they give you a testing sheet. And so you can scribble some swatches out to see how they look. I even have trouble with this sometimes. And I mean, I still consider myself a beginner, of course, but it feels like I've been doing this for years, but it's really only been like 5-6 months tops. But I'm even going to use this because I can get in trouble with darker colors washing out grayscale, which is fine, but that wasn't really my intention. So this type of testing sheet will be great to make sure the colors I'm choosing are not going to cover up the grayscale if that's not what I'm wanting. So here is the website to look at more of Cristina McAllister's books. Evidently, this said volume 1 for the cats, but they do have other ones as well. Video coloring tutorials. I'll have to go and watch that. That sounds really cool. So I can tell, usually if it's CreateSpace, this is on the very back of it. They're printed basically on in the same locations. And this kind of goes through talking really nicely about cats, but I feel like you can mix in that they're jerks too, and that's fine because, you know, again, I still love them. So anyway, there's that book. More cats. I know, shocking. This is World of Cats. This is a Dover published book, I think. Yeah. And it says to paint or color. So from the description of this, and weirdly enough, I did not get this in my Dover shipment. I know, it's weird. I think it was cheaper on Amazon was the reason. This is why you want to shop around. Because Dover was having a great sale, but I think it was cheaper on Amazon, so that's why I got it there instead. Now, what's cool about this is it does not have the Creative Haven label on it, but the paper quality, the one-sided, and the perforated pages are there. So this is basically Creative Haven type paper for Dover, because they do have a Dover coloring book line that's double-sided. It's really thin paper, probably more apt to colored pencil. But this one, evidently, and you've also got the examples on the covers. Cats are curious, adorable, and have a keen zest for life. Again, I will shorten that to cats can be some jerks when they want to be. They could get into your stuff too and wreck it. You're sitting there going, man, why do you have so many? And that's the thing. They are sweet as can be. And then 5 minutes later, I'm wanting to tear my hair out because they're getting into something. So what's interesting about this is, again, they're one-sided, really light gray line art, which is not typically something I'm drawn towards. But I have seen feedback on, I believe it's Amazon, that a lot of people consider this like a watercolor type coloring book, which you guys know that is the thing I really want to get into. I have so many watercolor pencils and watercolor paints, and ever since I first started messing around with them, the water brush pens, I love them. I can't wait to use more of them. In fact, I think my next color in chat is going to be using some brush pens. I'm just not really sure which ones yet. But these are just gorgeous pictures, and I'm not going to, let's just go ahead and speed this up a little. Though I guess 3 books at 16 minutes still is pretty good for me. There are so many possibilities with these cats because the way they're drawn. Like this one, this reminds me of Quixote. If I could pull off the tabby look, and these little bits of fur are kind of helpful as a guide as to where I would probably put those stripes. And this one would probably remind people more of maybe a Siamese. At least that's the way it looks to me. This could be like Oliver or something, Anne's cat Siamese. So, this I probably could pull off Scamper on, but anyway, you have a combination of really like fluffy looking cats. You just have a whole variety of them. Most of them, they're assuming cute poses. I don't think I've seen any where they actually get into stuff. Because anybody who owns a cat knows what I'm talking about there. No, this is a book where they are in all their regal glory. Like, they know their hot stuff. You must bask in their beauty and worship them. Okay, well, this one's... See, you think stepping on a piano is annoying? Like, try having a cat that wants to stomp on your keyboard while you're trying to work. I have been terrified that they're just going to end up deleting something or whatever. And Quixote, at least, is nice enough to avoid my keyboard. He will step around it, but Scamper and Sid and Winry all want to just stomp. Now, see, this one's probably going to get in some trouble. So, I've had books where it looks like they're about to really wreak some havoc, and I like those as well. But this one's really nice. Every cat I've seen reminds me of somebody else's cat or my own. I like how this example in the back. I have some real ideas for this book. Now, there is something here called Hubert, the world's largest digital coloring library. And apparently there is an app out there for both Android and iPhones. They also have dogs, horse scenes, birds, and animal illustrations in this similar group of books. So this is a 2-paint, 2-color series is basically, I guess, what they're calling this. Anyway, really cute book. Drawings have specially printed light gray lines that virtually disappear when colored. High quality paper is suitable for watercolor, colored pencils, and other media. So that's where you get, and I've used watercolors and watercolor pencils in the Creative Haven type paper, the good Dover paper. Let's just call it that, the good Dover paper. And I've had a lot of success with that. So this one I've been waiting on for a while. Been waiting for a price to drop on it. I just didn't want to pay a whole bunch. Now, this is a thick coloring book. I'm trying to find... let's look at just a regular Creative Haven book. This is pretty much an average. So this is a regular Creative Haven book, Flower Mandalas. And look at it up against, here, we'll do that to create a little bit of shadow. Look at that up against Pampered Pets. It is definitely, oh, wait, well, it would help if I did that too. It's probably, I wouldn't say it's quite double, but it's pretty close. This is a very large book. Again, I need to start really looking at the sizes of the books, the number of images, because once I got that, I figured out why it was at the price point it was. This is Marjorie Sarnat's book. I was trying to see if they had a number back here, but they don't. I don't think so. It's Raining Cats and Dogs, Four-Legged Friends. So it's not just cats and dogs. We have pigs as well. Sorry for the shininess. We all know lighting on coloring book pages or coloring book covers does not work so well. So this one's a little different. This one's not actually printed by Dover, it looks like. This is actually, I was trying to look, Racehorse Publishing. So this is not, most of her work is through Dover, but I believe this one and Elegant Elephants are through another publisher. So, but you do get your perforated pages, the page quality. It seems a little thinner, I think, because I can see you can see kind of the line art on the back of the page. I don't think you can usually see that in Creative Haven. Hang on. I had that book right here. I could just look at it, couldn't I? I mean, I know this is going to take a bit, but yeah, see on this side. Now, granted, this was gray line art as well. It's not a dark line art. You can barely see them. So maybe I'm not right on that. But anyway, they're still only one-sided. So with that, you could pretty much use anything you want. Now, I love me some Marjorie Sarnat. I mean, I think I have everything except for the elephants, Elegant Elephants, Fanciful Sea Life, and the Angels books. I have not gotten those yet. I love this one. I've seen a lot of people color this one with the pig in the bath. I like this one. It's almost like a genie cat. So Marjorie Sarnat's work with her animal books is usually very detailed. And each page kind of has its own theme, as you can see here. And they're gorgeous pictures. I mean, goodness, there is no telling how long she spends creating these. I mean, I just like looking at the pages. I don't even have to color them, and I really like them. This one's cute, especially if you just absolutely love dogs. I have a story about cats eating weird stuff because I was going to make a comment about dogs eating weird stuff. We'll have to save that for the coloring chat. I like that one. So you got some rabbits. I have a friend that would probably really love this, and it would also be a good Easter picture. Got your cat, your pupper. This is your hippie pupper. A puppy. Ha-ha. Da-da. Sorry. Anyway, now we've got an elephant here as well. I like that she does different combinations of animals too. And she will sneak in some art from her other books. This is funny. The piggy bank thing. I don't know. That might be. And I know it's not a cat page. Like, you know, I know you're clutching your pearls right now or grabbing at your heart in disbelief, but I just, that one just cracks me up. So we're going to have to possibly bypass the cats for that one. So I say you can use a variety of media on this, and I still hold to that. One thing I will note, though, this one would be really cool in just done four different ways, or you could color them all the same. But one thing I have learned with her work is that I love it. I'm enjoying it when I start coloring it. But man, sometimes I get bogged down in the details. This is pretty. The dog kind of reminds me of a German Shepherd a little bit. I like the different variety of dogs as well. Ooh, we have an iguana. Is that right? Nobody get mad at me. Or is that like one of those bearded dragons? Yeah. Either way, I'm trying to cover my bases here. That's pretty. I know it's not cat pictures, right? Like, y'all just don't know what to do with this. I'm going back road, going off the highway on this one. But no, I love her work. I love starting out when I color it, but man, it is so hard for me to just straight color the details and call it a day. Like, I just want to get into every little nook and cranny and make it different because I love the end result. But oh my gosh, I spend so much time on these. I love this with the Ferris wheel. And this one's actually got different ones. Hang on. I just noticed that as you have your rabbits, your cats and dogs, you got some birds, you got your little piggy up here. So good variety. Oh, you even got a turtle. So not just cuddly creatures here. I guess a bearded dragon could be cuddly if you wanted it to be. I don't know, that may not be right. This is sweet. That's really sweet. But I will get so frustrated at the end of these pictures because, like I said, in a lot of the pictures she does in this tiled format, like I said, it would also be cool if you could cut these straight. I could never do that. But if you could get them and they're all even and having them framed up would be really pretty. We're all together even. I have an idea for that one. I have been looking for a page for someone as a gift, and this one might just be it because they have a dog and looks a lot like that one. That with a little tiara, and you could also do those like side by side. She does a lot of picture pairs, so to speak, where you could take both and they kind of they match in the art, and you could post them side by side. Like I said, a lot of images in this book. You got even horses in this one, or a horse. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's adorable. Well, now we got our cat picture. You can all rest easy now. I have found a cat picture that I want to color in here. Of course, who knows when I'm going to get back to this book. And this one I like because there's not as many details. This one, I think, this might be our next color in chat because it would be great. And you've got the paired one. It would be great for water brushes, I think. Because the detail work in these, a lot of times I would recommend either using ultrafine point Sharpies or ultrafine Bics or fine liner, something like this with a really, really tiny point to really get into the detail work and not risk a lot of bleeding outside the lines. This type of paper, it probably won't bleed a lot, but there will be some, I suspect. So it talks about pets a little bit, and then it gives a little bit of info on Marjorie Sarnat, her 2 dogs, and her extensive antique book collection. Oh, that's interesting. She also has a Facebook group. So let's see, also available from Skyhorse Publishing. That's the name of it. Creative stress relieving adult coloring book series. This looks interesting. I might have to see if I can find these and see what they're like. Some of Marty Noble's stuff is also published through them. Sugar Skulls and Peaceful World. And then there's portable coloring, so smaller books. I know a couple people that would be interested in these. So anyway, pretty neat little series of books. And I don't think I've heard of any of these. So that will be great to go investigate and add to my wish list because I am not buying any more coloring books for a while. And I know you're rolling your eyes and saying, yeah, right. But I really mean it. I got to stop because I ain't got no more room. I finally got everything organized and I'm going to make it worse if I keep buying stuff. So, and then I'm going to have to reorganize again. And it took forever to get it the way I have it now. And I'll show you guys that later on in another video. This is Fabulous Flowers by C.L. Aldridge. This is her newest published book. I don't think it's been out very long. Maybe the beginning of November. And, you know, hey, there's a cat. There's actually I'm almost half tempted to start with the first page and go back through this. C.L. Aldridge is absolutely awesome. She has a YouTube channel where she regularly updates. She colors in these books and in her books. And what's really neat about that is she uses a lot of mediums that most people don't think would work on CreateSpace paper, because that is what this is, as you can see. Apologies for the autofocus. I'm apparently like driving it crazy. She does have an email address, and this shows some of her info. This type of paper, I keep calling it CreateSpace, it's going to be CreateSpace forever. Let's just go ahead and say that. But anyway, she uses ink tints, she uses watercolors, she uses all kinds of things that for a long, long time, people seemed convinced that they could not do that on this type of paper. So I really love that she does that. She also shows thumbnails here at the beginning. And on the back, there are bonus pages from some of her other books. And a full set of all 26 drawings in greeting card and crafter sizes. So you get like 2 drawings per page. And I'll show you that in a minute. She gives you a lot in this book. And it is also a pretty thick book in terms of how many images she offers. She gives important info, 26 designs. They're all printed in 2 sizes, 60-pound bright white paper. So that must be what this type of paper actually is. And that's interesting. I am actually going to bookmark that because I did not know what the actual weight was or anything like that. So thank you for putting that in here. To avoid any uh-ohs, marker and gel pen users strongly encouraged to use a blotter sheet. Anybody, I don't care what you're coloring, how you're coloring it. If it's one-sided, two-sided, even if the paper's really, really thick, please put either a couple pieces of paper or cardstock behind the page you're working on. You don't want indentions from colored pencils to show up either. So it's going to give you a peace of mind. Title page, and then we get into the good stuff. Well, all the stuff's good, but we get into the actual art of this book. So what I really like about her art is she does a variety of images like this, that if you really, obviously this book is titled Fabulous Flowers. So if you are not a fan of coloring flowers, probably wouldn't want to recommend this book to you. But I don't like coloring flowers all the time, but I do like having a variety when I get in the mood for them. And there's so many different ways you can color them. And of course, this was on the title page. So I might do, not title page, the front page. But she does a variety of images like that. And then she has the images like this. They're not mandalas, but they are like pattern type art that if you're really big in the patterns and symmetry, that's a lot of her art is like that. But she also includes images like this, and I love the variety. I think that's one of the reasons I like this one in particular so much, because there is so much of a variety. Because sometimes I feel like doing a pattern page, and sometimes I don't. So thank you for the variety of all this, if she happens to be watching. And it's really interesting. She was a featured artist some months back, and when I first saw some of her books, I really just didn't think they were for me because they were mostly pattern type pages. But as I got to looking at them, and I picked up 1 or 2 books out of curiosity to take a look, and I love that with the raindrops. That's a neat little background to that. You could do a lot with. But I picked up a couple of her books and I found that I really do like them. Oddly enough, I prefer these types of patterns probably to most mandala books. These have detail work, but they're not. It's not overwhelming detail to me, which this one kind of is. But she does give a variety of that, and I really really like that. I've seen beautiful work done with gel pens. I've seen work done with, like I said, ink tints, markers. These actually would suffice as bookmarks, which would be really pretty this time of year, for like little gifts that you may want to make someone. And this, she gives you some blank pages so you can kind of create your own pattern, which I don't know. I definitely don't consider myself an artist quite yet. This book, and then we'll go through some of these bonus pages. These are adapted versions of the other art in little side by side. These could be used as greeting cards. You could use one, you could take it and fold it and then have these on the front and back. Now, if you are going to do that, I would probably suggest you use colored pencil or get a heavier cardstock and maybe get either the digital version of this and print out on the cardstock or scan it and print it on cardstock, because if you use marker or gel pen, of course, it's going to bleed through the paper. And if you're wanting to actually write, say, on the inside of this card, if you made it like that, it's not going to show up. You're just going to see all the bleeding on the other side. So anyway, it's pretty much all the designs. They're just in smaller. And these are nice too. When you feel like coloring, but you don't want to color a lot, like a whole page, this would be perfect for that. So she also provides bonus pages. This is from, I have this one, Flowers and Dreams. Actually, I have most of these. I think this is the third book of hers that I have in print. And then the rest, not all of them, but almost all of her other books, I have a digital copy. She does have an Etsy store, and I will put that in the description. Any artist that I talk at length about, I will try to put more information about them in the description than just linking to the books themselves. So this one's pretty. Somebody I remember seeing someone coloring this one. Was it Sammy? Maybe it was Sammy. Someone was coloring this one, and it looked. I really liked it. What they were doing with it. In some of the books, she's also drawn in some animals, which of course I love. She has some beautiful birds drawn in. The little mice are adorable. One, she's got squirrels. Well, not just one book, but she does draw like all kinds of different animals, and I love the way she draws them as well. So we have a blotting page if you want to cut this out, or a test page. Here are more books. This Fantasy Flower Garden's a beautiful one. If you're looking for one just to start out with, and this one, you're not quite ready for this one. To me, I like Flower Fantasy Garden quite a bit because it has a nice mixture of, it's very similar to this, where it has mixture of patterns, but it also has like animals drawn in, different little scenes drawn in. I really like that one. And I also have the Flowers, Birds, Butterflies, and More. She has many coloring books as well, which is really cool. Here is her info about social media and her YouTube channel and website. Again, I will try to put all that in the description in case nobody can read that. Last one. I was just talking about how sometimes I don't want to color mandalas. I remember when I first started this channel, I kept saying, I don't like mandalas. I don't like mandalas. Because at that point, all I had seen were like really overly complicated ones, and it just intimidated me. But once I started finding some simple line art ones, I really started embracing them. This book I love a lot. Flower Mandalas. I I use this a lot as a tester. I have a couple copies, one to use as a test for Creative Haven paper. And I don't know. Sometimes I'm in the mood for them. The beginner series was on sale during the week of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I showed the flip through for all the other books that were on sale during that time, except for this one because I didn't have it. And then I was like, well, it's about to go up in price. And I took a look at it and I thought, oh, yep. Again, I like simple ones sometimes. And this fits right up in my wheelhouse there, my comfort zone. There we go. That's better. So for now, you can still get free digital copies. When you purchase the actual books, you can also get digital copies at their Etsy store until December 15th. I will put that information in the description and a link as to what all's happening. The digital version in the printed books will go away January 15th. If you have a code before that, though, you can redeem that at any time. They're not going to take that away. So I believe, hang on, before we get going, let me take a look. No, it's not going to tell you on the back. Sometimes it tells you if they're all unique images or if it's 25 images and then you get a second copy. Now, again, this is titled Mandalas for Beginners. So these are not going to be overly detailed. If you are not a fan of really simplistic mandalas, I would not recommend this book. Again, as it's saying, for beginners. This is the kind of book I wish I had had starting out before I started getting all the detailed ones. I got some animal ones in here too, which is really cool. Their animal mandala book is really nice too. It's not very complex. I like that one a lot. This one will be really pretty. I can see testing out a lot of mediums through this one. These would be beautiful with watercolor pencils and really kind of learning how to use them and draw the color across the paper. Because this is also the paper formerly known as Create Space. I'm going to learn what the actual name is. Every time I come back around to a video, I'm like, why haven't you looked that up? And then it goes right out of my head as soon as I finish the video. So that's pretty much my life. I have about a 10-second memory anymore. The little bears one is cute as well. I like that there are more than just patterns like this, just line art and designs and stuff. You have some that have animals, stuffed animals, flowers. It's a nice mixture. But I had not seen people use watercolor. These are cute. The little like baby elephants. What are baby elephants called? Whatever. They're baby elephants today for me. Somebody's going to say it in the comments. And thank you for doing that. But I can tell you right now, again, after this video ends, I will not remember to look that up. So I like this one with the tulips. A lot of people held off on using water-based mediums in this because the paper is so thin. You do not want to oversaturate this paper or it will rip on you. It also looks kind of scary, especially with alcohol markers, because you can see the black on the back of the page coming through, but as it dries, that will go away. But I have not tried just flat out watercolors really on this type of paper, at least the Jade Summer books. I have, however, tried out watercolor pencils, and if you use either like a water-based colorless blender or a brush with very, very little water to it, enough to just basically get the pigment going, you can do that and accomplish that actually fairly easily. And with that, I love the little fish and the little hearts. It's so cute. We're getting close to the middle if we're not already past it. I think these are going to be unique. All of them. So you're getting 50 unique ones, which is really cool. Again, 10-second memory, but I'm pretty sure I would have remembered. Wait, I remember birds. I don't remember any of these others, though, so that must just be a different one. Again, 10-second memory, but if I'd seen 3 or 4 that I remember, it'd be different. This one would be pretty probably for Christmas, with doing like a poinsettia in the middle, doing like a really dark green on the vines and the leaves. That would be pretty. And red and green, of course, are opposite each other on the color wheel, so I guess that's why those colors are so appealing, because they're complementary colors when you look at a color wheel. So, but I would recommend, if you use watercolor type stuff at all, any sort of water or even marker, I would wait and let the first layer dry before applying a second layer. Because the more water you introduce at once, the more likely it's going to tear, it's going to get damaged. You want your mediums to be like thoroughly, you don't want to put a dry marker on these pages either, because that will damage them as well. Cupcakes. Somebody on Instagram has some really pretty cupcakes. Oh, it was Color Me Jen. And I told her they were gorgeous, but I was like, I can't do that, because if I draw it, goodness, if I color, I'm going to want to eat it. And I'm telling you, with everything that's been going on in my stomach, funny enough, I probably could eat a cupcake and be okay, but I'd have to eat like a quarter or a small part of it. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you the download code, because, hey, that would be cheating. But they have that. They have some more info on their website on the back parts of the page and stuff. Oop, here we go. There it is. So you can see that there, email list. They don't have any examples from their other books. I believe this was like an earlier book in their series for them. If you look at my flip through not Friday from, I think it was Tuesday, when they were still having the Cyber Monday sales on these, I reviewed all the other books in the Grayscale series that were on sale, and then the 3 beginner books, which was Mandalas, Animals, and what? And Bears. Oh my. No, that's not right. Like, come on, Michelle. Okay, I can't remember what the other one is. If you go back in that video, you'll see it. Flowers for Beginners. How could I forget that one? I've actually been using that one for some of my pencil reviews. Good gracious. It is Friday afternoon, and I guess I need some more coffee. Anyway, guys, hope you really enjoyed these. I will do my best. Again, there may be a few more flip-through videos than usual next week and the week after, because I want to try to get these in if people are trying to get ideas for like their Christmas lists or their presents to themselves or their presents to someone else. However, which way you're slicing it. I want to be able to get these out there so people can actually see them in detail. And as always, there will be timestamps in the description. So if you don't want to see all the books, you can just click on the timestamp to go to the books you want to see. That's why I don't do 5. In this case, it had been 6 different flip through videos, and I want to be efficient with it. And I figure in the future, if somebody doesn't catch these videos, I'm probably going to flip through something, a couple more times way down the line in the future for like theme type stuff, like where I went through all my Christmas books. There were a couple I've already flipped through in the past, but with all the new subscribers, maybe you didn't get to see those. So, and archives are always like a massive amount to go through in most cases, so I don't expect anybody to really dig through them. Hope y'all enjoy. I will put all the links to these in the description. They were all purchased from Amazon. I will do Amazon affiliate links, but like in this case, I will put the link to this from Dover, CL Aldridge. I will put the link to like her Etsy store, stuff like that. I try to post non-Amazon links when I can. if you can't, if the C.L. Aldridge books themselves are in particular are either you don't like the paper or you need something a little more pocketbook friendly, the digital versions on Etsy are always a really good deal. Plus, you can get individual pages to download as well. So you can basically try a couple pages before you purchase the book itself, which I really appreciate she does that. Marjorie Sarnat also sells things on her website, including pages that aren't in her books. There's one in particular. If we don't start on the one I found today, we're going to be starting on that one at some point because I've been dying to color it. But anyway, y'all have any questions? Of course, say it or ask it in the comments. Good gracious. Well, I guess 15 minutes for 6 books isn't really all that bad. That's probably about my average, right? I at least managed to talk about the books themselves for the most part. What was it I was going to say? Oh, yeah. So in terms of like a video schedule, I realize I have not posted a video of me coloring in a while. That will not be up tomorrow because tomorrow I'll be doing my completed pages. I have one more I'm going to work on today. I'm just about done with it. And then that is going to be a massive video. I mean, not like hours and hours, but I colored a lot in November. And I'm glad because it turned out to be a pretty decent month here this last week or two. Finally, I got a break. So I will be posting that tomorrow. Sunday or Monday, I will be posting my first in my next color and chat series. Or I may do a carefree coloring. Or I may do both. Who knows? But other than flip-throughs, I don't think, well, again, I'm not going to nail down a schedule. Y'all know how I am. But yes, I will be coloring in a video in the near future. Like I said, it may not go up today or tomorrow, but either Sunday or Monday, look for those. So anyway, guys, enjoy the start to your weekend, and bye for now.